Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. So today we shall begin with the 10th canto, part 5.
So 7th day, can I introduce?
So the 7th day or the last day of the Bhagavatam, and we shall start with the shlokas of the first 9 story.
You put in the internet. YouTube.
Yeah.
You put it on the net. With what name?
Krishna Niriksha Vanitotsav Rupa Sheelam Swata Tattvadamenu Vivikta Geetam Devyo Vimanagata Yasmaranunna Sara Bhrashit Prasuna Kavara Muhumurvinibhya. Krishna's beauty and character create a festival for all women. Indeed, when demigods' wives are flying in aeroplanes with their husbands, catch sight of him and hears resonant flute song, their hearts are shaken by Cupid and they become so bewildered that the flowers fall out of their hair and their belts loosen. Next. So the gopis sing as follows. The peacocks dance madly when they hear Govinda's flute. So this is about what all the creatures in the world are feeling when they see the Lord in their own work. So all the young daughters of the cowherds in the month of Margashirsha, they all go and they take baths early morning, and then they wear their clothes, and then they go for all of those things like selling milk, all of that. And at that time, before they were wearing clothes, Krishna took all of their clothes and went away, kept it on the tree and didn't give it to them. So then they were worshipping Katyayini Devi for Krishna to become their husbands, as they were plenary expansions of Lakshmi herself. So now we shall check the shlokas of this part. Dridham pradabdhas trapaya chahapitah prastobhitah kridana vachakaritah vastrani chaiva pahrittanyathaapyamum tanabhyasuryan priyasanga nirvritah paridhaya swavasamsi preshthasangama sajjitah Grihita chitta no cheluhu tasmin dajjayite kshanaha. The gopis were addicted to associating with their beloved Krishna, and therefore they became captivated by him. Thus, even after putting their clothes on, they did not move. They simply remained wherever they were, shyly glancing at him. So we finished this part. We should move to the next one. So when all the cowherd boys became a lot of hunger they had, and they were going all around the forest and taking the cows, at that time they were getting very hungry. So they all went to ask for food from a Brahmana, and Krishna sent some cowherds to get some food, and when he went, then the Brahmanas ignored them because they were Vaishyas and sent them away from there. But when Krishna again sent them to the wives of the Brahmanas' wives gave different foodstuffs to them and became attracted to Krishna too. So the next one is the Govardhana hill lifting, and we shall see about this. So we know about this story in which Krishna says that don't worship Indra, because Indra was an arrogant person at that time. He used to think that he was the supreme lord, and he used to always believe that he didn't have any lord over him, and he only had made his own power, and he was the beginning of everything. So then he was thinking that without rain, what what will the whole world do? I control rain and therefore I am the entire lord of the world. And he was getting so bewildered by his own so-called opulences, wealth, fame, beauty, everything, and he was getting so famous all around the world, and people used to do Indra Puja for him. But Nanda Maharaja and everybody, they started to do Indra Puja. They were about to do that. At that time Krishna came and said, why do you have to do to Indra when Govardhana hill itself gives the entire fruits to us, flowers to us, even though there is no rain at some moments. So that's why you need to worship Govardhana hill, not the King Indra, because he is becoming arrogant day by day. For some time, all the priests and everybody was thinking, what is this small boy saying? But later they realized that Indra was becoming arrogant slowly, and even though they were doing yajnas, Indra used to not give them rain. So slowly, when he was becoming more and more arrogant, Indra started creating his own downfall. So at that time, Krishna came to Nanda Maharaja and explained to him why we should worship Govardhana hill and not any other person. So Nanda explained that the rain given by Indra enables all living entities to maintain their lives, and therefore the sacrifice will be executed to satisfy him. Krishna responded that it is because of karma alone that living entities take birth in that body, experience varieties of happiness and suffering in that body, and then give it up as karma pertaining to it runs out. So this is the way every entity is. Indra cannot do anything to alter the happiness and distress for anyone, for everyone is tightly bound by his karmic reactions. So therefore nobody can make themselves great, and nor can they make other people great without the grace of the Supreme Lord, is what Krishna is saying. Then Indra got angered at the disruption of the sacrifice meant for him, and falsely presuming himself to be supreme controller, he said, "These coward men have been intoxicated by pride and have offended me by taking shelter of an ignorant, ordinary child, Krishna." He got so angry when he heard that, and Syamantaka, a dangerous cloud, a tornado kind of a cloud. So when he sends his servant Syamantaka, the entire world trembles because of that dangerous heat and light coming from Syamantaka's clouds. So it all came and they were bombarding the Govardhana mountain, and also the people who are living in Rajabhumi. And along with that too, Krishna, who was holding the entire Govardhana hill, he lifted it up suddenly, just touched it, and the Govardhana hill broke, and then he lifted it up with his little finger, and all the people around him came under that spot, and they all took their foodstuffs, their cows, everybody, whatever valuable belongings they have, and they came inside that spot. Fearing that Sri Krishna might be tired from lifting the Govardhana hill, Indra secretly came into his presence, offered obeisances and praised him. Indra stated that although Sri Krishna is never caught in the current of material illusion, which is born of ignorance, he nevertheless accepts a human-like body and performs various activities to establish religious principles and chastise the wicked. So we'll check the shlokas of this.
Explain.
So, there is a current of material illusion which says money, wealth, enjoyment, all of these different things, which forces a person to get caught. Like when you sit in a river which is full of sharks and fish, and the river is going in a very fast speed, then you get attracted towards the river and you get caught in that river. So that's how material illusion is. It forces you to believe things that are not even there, and it's just an illusion to make you bound by material nature. So the Lord comes in the form of a human, but still is not at all bound by the material illusion. He's still the Supreme Lord, even though he's born in a human body. So now, so Ekadashi is what is there here. So Nanda Maharaja was doing Ekadashi one day, and he wanted to do the fast, a very long fast on the Ekadashi, a Nirjala fast in which he didn't take any water. Nowadays, Ekadashi comes, oh, I have a headache, I want to eat. So everybody is like, If I want, I'll do. If I don't want, I don't need to do. Like that kind of attitude everybody has. So to break that attitude, we have to start doing Ekadashi. We have to start following the scriptures perfectly. We should not think it's a andha or a, what do you say, blind faith. Andhavishwas, they say. It's not Andhavishwas. It's just made by the foreigners to make us accept that whatever they say is correct and whatever we say in our Shastras is Andhavishwas. So we must not believe all of this. And Ekadashi must always be done by every human. So Vasudeva, Nanda Maharaja, who wanted to do the Ekadashi fast, he went to the river and he bathed at that time. But according to astrology, that particular moment is wrong for doing bath. So Varuna Deva, who was under the oceans, sent his servant to catch that Nanda Maharaja and bring him in custody. So then what happened was Varuna Deva went and caught Nanda Maharaja and tied him to the pillar because he had taken bath at the wrong time according to the Shastras. But then Krishna came down and said, Varuna, you have taken my father. The moment he was about to complete this sentence, Varuna said, I'm really sorry. We shall see the shlokas right now. Shri Bhadarayaniruvacha Ekadashyam Niraharaha Samabhyarchya Ganadaram Snatum Nandastu Kalindyam Dwadashyam Jalamavishat. Shri Bhadarayani said, or Vyasa said, or his son said, Sutta Goswami said, having worshipped the Lord Janardana and fasted on the Ekadashi day, Nanda Maharaja entered the water of the Kalindi on the Dwadashi to take his bath. Tam grihitwana yadbhrityo varunasya surontikam avagnyaya surim veram pravishtamudakam nishi. Because Nanda Maharaja entered the water in the dark of the night, disregarding that the time was inauspicious. A demoniac servant of Varuna seized him and brought him to his master. O king, not seeing Nanda Maharaja, the cowherdmen loudly cried out, O Krishna, O Rama. Lord Krishna heard their cries and understood that his father had been captured by Varuna. Therefore, the Almighty Lord, who makes his devotees fearless, went to the court of Varuna Deva. He went directly into the court and Varuna Deva offered his obeisances and said, Shri Varuna Uvacha Adya me nibhrato deha Adyaivartho dhikata prabho Tvatpada bhajo bhagavan navapu paramam adhvanaha. Shri Varuna said, now my body has been fulfilled its function. Indeed, now the goal of my life is achieved, O Lord. Those who accept your lotus feet, O personality of Godhead, can transcend the path of material existence. So we finish this part. Muranyonyamalakshitodyamaha Sayatra kanto jamaloka kundalaha. So all the young women of Vrindavana, they all rush to Krishna when the flute, it captivates all the calves, cows everywhere around, even the women of Vrindavana, everybody rushed towards Krishna wherever he was, and they didn't know that they were also there, and they forgot themselves and they went directly to Krishna. The classic Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma, the first being in the universe, states. So we should go to this. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who resides in his own realm, Goloka with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies the excessive potency, Ladini. Their companions are her confidants, who embody extensions of her bodily forms and who are imbued and permeated with ever blissful spiritual rasa. The gopis assist Radha and Krishna in their transcendental pastimes, expertly using their talents to increase their spiritual pleasure. So they all took one mridanga, one dhol, one and one veena, all of these different instruments, and they started playing along with their talent, fully with heart and soul, and they worshipped Lord Krishna and Radha also. As the cowherd women remembered Lord Krishna, their hearts were overwhelmed by his movements and loving smiles, his playful glances and enchanting talks, and by the many other pastimes he would enjoy with them. Thus absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna, the gopis began acting out his various transcendental pastimes. Because the gopis were absorbed in the thoughts of their beloved Krishna, their bodies imitated his way of moving and smile, his way of beholding him, his speech, and his other distinctive features. Suddenly, after some time, Krishna disappeared from the Vrindavana place and went to Dwarka and lived there for many days. So, till then, they all were overwhelmed with a lot of depression, and they could not say anything, and they could not even speak. And also, every gopi was feeling so bad, and they were following his footprints throughout the place of Vrindavana. They were walking on the same footprints and they were checking where is he. And also one gopi who loved Krishna a lot said, "My beloved has rejected all the other gopis even though they are driven by Cupid himself. He has chosen to reciprocate with me alone." Suddenly Krishna disappeared from her side and she was left all alone. When her companions found her like this, they displayed sympathy for her. So only one gopi had Krishna on her side, but when she became arrogant and said that only Krishna is on only my side, then Krishna disappeared from her side, and all the other gopis were having sympathy over him. So it's just like this. The love of the Lord was so much with every single person. So they are all souls. Every single entity is a soul. The Lord is the supreme soul. And therefore, everybody has a particular relationship with the Lord. One is wife or lover, and second thing is son, daughter, father, relatives, like that. Third thing is friend, fourth thing is devotee. So we know many examples of that. So you shall see the shlokas of this part. ऋतोऽभिषन्वनं चन्द्रा ज्योत्स्ना यावद्विभाव्यते तमः प्रविष्टमालक्ष्य ततो निवव्रतु स्त्रियः. In search of Krishna, the gopis then entered the depths of the forest as far as the light of the moon shone. But when they found themselves engulfed in darkness, they decided to turn back. The gopis spoke of Krishna. "Dear master, dear lover, when you leave the cowherd village to herd the cows, our minds are disturbed with the thought that your feet, more beautiful than a lotus, will be pricked by the spiked husks of grain and the rough grass and plants." They also said, when you walk to the forest during the day, a tiny fraction of a second becomes like a millennium for us because we can't see you. And even when we can eagerly look upon your beautiful face, so lovely with its adornment of curly locks, our pleasure is hindered by our eyelids, which were fashioned by the foolish Creator. In this way, they express their unsurpassed pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in the morning, when the Lord goes to herd the cows, at that time the gopis feel bad that he's not there, and they try to sing about him. So they say,
He's reading all this
All
first time.
the, all the 10
Abhi bhi ho,
seconds.
kare to.
10 seconds of it all.
12,
You have one
12 skanda.
Only that 10 seconds or 12 seconds are there.
No,
In Bhagavad.
12 skandas.
So you all separate.
Yeah.
So, and now we see the episode of Arishtasura, one of the most dangerous demons. So, he was a servant of the Lord, Namsa, and he was a demoniac person who used to terrorize everybody and run around people and then kill them. So, he was also being hired to kill people, and therefore he was a very dangerous person. And then once he was told by by King Kamsa to go and kill Krishna. So he was sending different demons, and one of them is Arishtasura, the bull demon. So he took the form of a bull and he rushed to Vrindavana. The earth was trembling and cracking with the sound of that bull because he was so huge, and his body was such tremendous body which was full of muscles, power and heat that nobody could withstand. He didn't need any path. He himself made the path for himself, and the demon rushed. So this is the way he was rushing, and we'll see the shloka. Now, the bull demon Arishta then rushed towards Krishna and found him. Krishna didn't run away, all the other gopas ran away, including many strong ones too. Then this dangerous demon came forward to Krishna, and Krishna stood right there, and he just glanced towards him, and the demon stopped right there. He could not take one more step. So that time he was expanding in size. Like first he'll be as big as a mountain, then as big as a sky, like that. He was making Krishna getting scared, but Krishna didn't get any scaring feeling, and then he lifted the demon with the tail, and as we just pick up a wet cloth, he thrashed him on the floor. And then that demon shattered to the earth with his thrash, and then he fell directly down and blood was coming from his head. Then Lord Krishna broke open one of his horns, took that horn and thrashed him nicely until he was dead. That bull demon was dead, and now we shall see the shlokas of the Lord and how he killed him.
वो तो 8 गया
दिया नदी का
वो
ताबा
तो 8 करे सर फुल मैचस्टिक का मैचस्टिक
ना तो स्पून खाणी याच्या
हां फुल का 8 करेंगे
सोप्येवं कोपितोऽष्टः खुरेणावनिमुल्लिखम् उद्यत् पुच्छभ्रमन्मेघः क्रुद्धः कृष्णः उपाद्रवत्. Thus provoked, Arishta pawed the ground with one of his hooves, and then, with the clouds covering around his upraised tail, furiously charged Krishna. Pointing at the tips of his horns straight ahead and glaring menacingly at the Lord Shri Krishna from the corners of his bloodshot eyes, Arishta rushed towards him in full speed like a thunderbolt hurled by Indra. Thus, the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna seized Arishtasura by the horns and threw him back 18 steps, just as an elephant might do while fighting a rival elephant. As Arishta attacked, Lord Krishna seized him by the horns and knocked him to the ground with his foot. The Lord then thrashed him as if he were a wet cloth, and finally he yanked out one of the demon's horns and struck him with it until he lay dead. So, kept on hitting him hard with the same thing. He took the horns and beat him up so many times, and then Arishta was just dead right there. When this was also not affecting Krishna, Kamsa had another dangerous demon. His name was Keshi, the horse demon. Keshi was sent from King Kamsa's abode. He rushed like a horrible thunderbolt and broke open the trees and he made the way for himself. He didn't walk on any path made for him. When trees were there, he just cut them off with his hooves and made an earthquake like a line while he was going. The tracks he was going, there were big wells made through the tracks he was going. And with his large mane, it looked like as if he was touching his head to the clouds and he was bringing the clouds to attack Krishna. Then suddenly Krishna came there and he roared like a lion, and Keshi charged Krishna in extreme rage, his mouth gaping as if to swallow up the sky. Rushing with furious speed, the unconquerable and unapproachable horse demon tried to strike the lotus-eyed Lord with his two front legs. So he lifted up his front legs and tried to hit the Lord hard with it, and so that he dies. But Krishna, who is above all material nature and who does not even know about the pain of the people, like how people will get hit by that. He doesn't even think about all of that. He just thrashes the demons. Even if he's hit, he comes back again in another form. He is the Supreme Lord and therefore he can take any form. So, then the Lord just smiled and thrust his left arm into the horse's mouth easily as one would make a snake enter a hole in the ground. He just he pulled the mouth of Keshi and he put his left arm inside and pulled out his life out of that spot. Dantani petur bhagavad bhuja sprushaha te keshina staptamaya sprusho yatha vahushcha tad deha gato mahatmanaha yatha maya samvavridhe upekshitaha. Keshi's feet immediately fell down when they were touched by the Supreme Lord's arm, which the demon felt as hot as molten iron. When Keshi's body, the Supreme Personality's arm, then expanded greatly like a diseased stomach swelling because of neglect. So, the Krishna's arm was just like lotuses to his devotees, was like hot molten iron to his enemies. So, he immediately rushed and he injected his left arm inside the demon and removed his life from inside, and all the teeth of the demon fell out and he died. When the gopis saw, finally Kamsa had sent Akrura to take him to the big festival function in which anybody can lift the bow and then play around. Lots of different kinds of enjoying things were made in that function. Everybody was going there, but Kamsa had a different plan. His plan was to kill Krishna by creating this kind of an atmosphere. So he made a yajna for Krishna to be killed in that. So then a wrestling match was also there with Chanura, Mushtika, Krishna and Balarama. So all of these demons were ready to fight against Krishna, and Akrura was sent to take Krishna from his place. At that time you'll see what the gopis will say and Akrura's prayers also. Shri Akrura uvacha natosmyaham tvakhila hetu hetum narayanam purusha madhyam avyayam yannabhijatadar vindakoshat brahma virasi yata esha lokah. Shri Akrura said, I bow down to you, the cause of all causes, the original and inexhaustible Supreme Person Narayana. From the wall of the lotus born from your navel, Brahma appeared, and by his agency this universe has come into being. They said, let us, so all the gopis are feeling so sad that this was happening and Krishna was going to Mathura, so they said, let us directly approach Madhava and stop him from going. What can our elders do to us now? We are already so rich that we have nothing to lose. Then forgetting all shame, they cried out, Oh Govinda, Oh Damodara, Oh Madhava. But even as the gopis cried out this way, Akrura began to drive the chariot. Then Krishna somewhat pacified the gopis with his dances and consoled them with his loving promise, I will return. And then they went away, and finally when they had reached the city of Kamsa, Mathura, they stopped there and they walked towards the main kingdom. When they were going, all the people offered them fruits and flowers and many more things for the Lord to be happy. Then, as Lord Krishna and Balarama walked down the main road of Mathura, the Brahmanas approached them along the way and honored them with presentations of yogurt, unbroken barley coins, pots full of water, garland and fragrant substances such as sandalwood paste and other items of worship. And from the roofs of the mansions, along with the road, the women of the city exclaimed, oh, what severe austerities the gopis must have performed to be able to regularly see Krishna and Balama, who is the greatest source of pleasure for all mankind. So the gopis were actually they had done so many severe austerities for them to see Krishna daily. Nobody could even see Krishna daily, and now the women from the top of the palaces could see Krishna, and they were saying, oh, the gopis are so fortunate, they have done so many penances to see Krishna daily. So now, immediately when he entered that spot, Kuvalaya Pida, a mad drunk elephant full of wine and drunk things, he came and rushed towards the Lord. When Lord Shri Krishna reached the entrance towards the wrestling arena, he saw the elephant Kuvalaya Pida blocking his way at the urging of his keeper. After securely binding up his clothes and tying back his curly locks, Lord addressed the elephant keeper with the words as grave as the rumbling of a cloud. Oh driver, move aside once and let me pass. If you don't, this very day I shall send both of you and your elephant to the abode of Yamaraja. So all of these Kuvalaya Pida and the driver sitting on top of him were puffed up with ego. So they all were puffed up with ego, and they were just rushing towards Krishna, and Krishna was getting so angry at them and said that, you driver and you doorkeeper, both of you are now cornered and you all have to just get out of here, or with one punch of my fist I'll send you both to Yamaraja's place. But then they didn't listen, so they got it nicely, as we'll see. He had actually thrashed the elephant and lifted him up and threw him in the sky, and the elephant flew just like a big ribbon cloud from the sky and then fell thud on Mathura's place. So पतितस्य पदाक्रम्य मृगेन्द्र इव लीलया दन्तमुत्पाट्य तेनेभं हस्तिपांश्च सनद्धरिः. Lord Hari then climbed onto the elephant with the ease of a mighty lion, pulled out the tusk of the elephant and hit the elephant hard with it, killed that beast, the elephant, and also the keepers were goading him to kill Krishna. So then he entered the arena with the elephant's blood and sweat all over him, and with all might and power, after fighting a huge beast like that, he still, without any tired feeling, he rushed towards the dangerous Chanura and Balarama with Mushtika. So Balarama took Mushtika's neck and wrung it hard, and then when that Mushtika rushed towards him with the speed of a lion, he just went down and Mushtika rushed like that and hit the wall and his head cracked. Then he wrung his throat and killed him. Kamsa was sitting on the top and seeing the entire thing and was getting very scared because he was the next person to be targeted. Then Chanura with Mushtika, Chanura with Krishna. Krishna lifted up Chanura and hit him on the floor hard, head cracked, and he died. So we shall see the shlokas of this part and we shall know more about it. Shri Shuka Uvacha evam charchita sankalpah Bhagavan Madhusudanah Asasadath Chanuram Mushtikam Rohini Sutah Hastabhyam Hastayor Badhva Padbhyam Evacha Padayoh Vichakarshatur Anyonyam Prasahya Vijigishaya. Seizing each other's hand with locking legs and with each other, the opponents struggled powerfully, eager for victory, because Chanura and Mushtika were just faithful servants of Kamsa, and when they were confronted by Krishna, they had no other thing but to fight with Krishna and then reach their abode in Yamaraja's place. So now we shall go to the next one. Then the invincible Lord Krishna quickly and easily jumped onto the high royal dais, where Kamsa was sitting up and watching the fight with anger and fear and stress combined. So he was getting so angry and full of anxiety that what will happen to him, because his life was led by anxiety. When Krishna was born, immediately anxiety started in his full mind and he started behaving very evil. So Chanura and Mushtika were full of blood and a pool of blood was there around him. And now Krishna saw Kamsa was trying to escape from there and jumped up from the arena, reached that evil person, pulled him from there and thrashed Kamsa down and punched him 3-4 times. The Lord grabbed him by the hair and knocked off his crown and then threw him off the elevated dais onto the wrestling mat. Finally Krishna jumped down, straddling the king, began to strike him over and over again. Simply from the blows of Krishna's fist, Kamsa lost his life. So Kamsa was dead. And there was also the story of Vyomasura dying, the bat demon. All these horrible demons only selected bull, bat, and also horse, horrible wild horse, and other demons like dangerous face demons, like we know the demon of fire, and also we know so many other demons that Krishna killed, including Kamsa. So Kamsa had sent all of these demons just to kill Krishna, but this was all destroyed. Radharani became mad with ecstasy while meditating on her previous occasions and association with Krishna. She saw a honeybee and imagined it to be a messenger sent by her beloved Krishna. And she was saying, "Oh, honeybee, you are a friend of a cheetah, and you have and this Krishna has eloped away from this spot, and therefore you are just a friend of a cheetah, and you deserve to be thrown out of the Yadu's assembly because you have not brought back Krishna. Instead, you are coming to deliver some message to me. Just get lost out of here," is what she told. Though that bee was no messenger, I think she was just mad, and she was saying all of this, mad in ecstasy towards the Lord. And then the Lord went to the home of Trivakra, who had 3 humps on her back. So she was a woman who was disrespected by everybody because she had 3 humps, and Lord Krishna went to her place. The moment she bent down and touched the Lord's feet, her heart became straight and she became fine again. So she was a maid servant of Uddhava, and she was trying to become fine from her 3 humps. So she went and prayed to the Lord. So we shall see the shlokas. Shri Shuka Uvacha Atha Vijñāya Bhagavan Sarvatma Sarvadarshanaha Sairandhriyah Kamataptayaha Priyavichan Graham Yayau. Shukadeva Goswami said, next, after assimilating Uddhava's report, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the omniscient soul of all that be, desired to satisfy the serving girl Trivakra, who was troubled to see Krishna. She wanted to somehow see Krishna. Trivakra's home was opulently appointed with expensive furnishings and repleted with many things just to help people to sit around, and a place where people can just sleep and enjoy that. So, therefore, Krishna went to a spot and sat on an opulent bed there, and when she touched the feet of Krishna, her 3 humps became set right and she stood up straight and she was no more ugly like that. So, After placing his family members safely within the Dwaraka fortress, Sri Krishna went out of Mathura. So, a dangerous demon called Kala Yavana, who was a very dangerous Kala Yavana, who was the time of the Greek danger. So, his name was itself saying that. So Yavana means Greek people who do not follow the scriptures but are still Hindu part only. So they were also a part of our Hindu culture. They were called Yavanas, or the low-born, or people who do not respect the Shastra. So therefore, they had to be punished by the Lord, and he was the Kala Yavana, or the Lord of the Yavanas, whose name was time or destruction. Then he had 30 million different kinds of soldiers who rushed towards Krishna's city, Dwaraka, and then went and tried to destroy Dwaraka with their 30 million people. 30 million different hordes, like small dwarfs with different weapons and dirty hands and all of that. So they were rushing towards Dwaraka to destroy the entire city. And Krishna went and kept all the citizens safe within Mathura. From Dwaraka, with his yogic power, he transported all the citizens to Mathura. This by his yogic power. 1, 2, 3, like that. In one shot, he transported everybody from Mathura so that the people get fooled that they are still in Dwaraka. But there was no citizen in Dwaraka, and they were simply bombarding the walls of Dwaraka. Then suddenly, Krishna came out of the pot and looked at Kala Yavana. Kala Yavana got angry with Krishna because he was the main target of Kala Yavana. So he rushed towards Krishna. Krishna thought, why should I fight and waste my time with this stupid demon? He deserves to be killed in a different way, is what he said. Then he rushed towards a cave and he went and hid inside. Kala Yavana went inside the same cave and searched for the Lord. He said, hey, who are you? Who are you? And he was searching there and screaming and calling. So we'll see the shlokas afterwards, what will happen. So, Shukadeva Goswami said, Shri Shuka Uvacha Tam Virokya Viniskrantam Ujjahanami Vodupam Darshaniyat Mam Shyamam Pita Kausheya Vasasam. So Muchukunda, who was a devotee of the Lord Shiva and loved Lord Krishna also, Vishnu also, and he wanted to see Krishna from a long time. So he grouped these two things. Krishna grouped it. First, I feel Kala Yavana. At the same time, I will also give liberation to Muchukunda. So that's what he was trying. And therefore, he went to Kala Yavana and he started teasing Kala Yavana. Kala Yavana followed him with rage and anger, but Lord quickly escaped away. And when he was trying to catch Krishna, he already caught Krishna. Krishna will escape through his yogic power on the other side. And again, he'll go like this, and he led him into a cave where Muchukunda was sleeping. So then he hid in the part of a cave where Muchukunda was sleeping there. And Kala Yavana thought this was only Krishna. He kicked him hard with his leg until Muchukunda got up. He had a boon that anybody who troubles me from my meditation sleep, that person, I'll give me that power that I can burn their full body without wasting my power. Then that boon he had got, and when Kala Yavana came there and then was kicking him hard, Muchukunda got up and then looked at him with anger for some moments. They were looking at each other, and then he was burnt to ashes. Totally ashes means like burnt open. So then Krishna also came close to Muchukunda and said, "O devotee, you will be delivered from all the different bad stuff in the world, and I shall give you one very special boon," is what he said, that you will be able to meditate upon me anytime. Krishna returned to Mathura, where he was still under siege by the barbarian army of Kala Yavana. He destroyed this army, collected all the valuables that the soldiers had been carrying, and set off for Dwaraka. Just then Jarasandha arrived on the scene with a force of 23 Akshaurinis. Each Akshaurani, as we saw in the 9th canto, is composed of 6,056 horses, 60,056 horses, and 21,095 chariots, and an army of 1,95,000 soldiers, and many other different infantry, cavalry, and everything going forward. So that is one Akshaurani. Imagine 23 such Akshauris with so many armies, like just flooding around. Nowadays, modern people are just proud of just having just 5-6 members like detectives who go around and shoot people and kill and commit sins. People are very proud of holding some 1,000 people and then saying, I am controlling 1,000 people. But see, in the ancient times, people had more than 23 Akshauhinis of army, and this was considered the minimum of army. So Jarasandha came with that moment with 23 Akshauhinis, and already Krishna had fought with Kalayavana's soldiers. He had also fought with Kalayavana and was doing so he thought, let me rest for some time. Why fight with this Jarasandha and also take my time away for this demon also? So they both rushed on top of the mountain and jumped from the mountain. Till then Jarasandha with his 23 Akshauhinis attacked Dwaraka. But then the mountain was protecting Dwaraka, and then they lit the mountain so that the mountain burns and then they can catch him. But the mountain didn't burn. And then, even though there were fires all around the mountain, Lord jumped with Balarama away from the fires and safe from that spot. From the peak of the mountain, Krishna and Balarama jumped high and then rushed back to Dwaraka. Then Jarasandha thought that Krishna and Rama were burnt to death now, and he was very happy because 17 times Jarasandha had been defeated by the Lord, and this was the 18th time he had come, and finally he thought he has won against the Lord, and he thought that he has burnt the Lord, but no. The Lord had safely gone back to Dwaraka. When he heard that the Lord was already safe in Dwaraka, he got so angry, and he also heard abuses of the Lord. So then, Rukmini, who was a daughter of a very great king and the sister of Rukmini, her brother, who was very adamant and a very big enemy of the Lord. So therefore, he was always demoniac in nature and always wanted some other way to kill the Lord. So he was thinking some other way how to insult the Lord. He was a friend of Shishupala also. Therefore, he wanted to give Rukmini to Shishupala. But Shishupala was ready for all this, and he was very happy that Rukmini is going to be his wife now. And this was happening. All the kings were looking at Rukmini and getting full of lust because they didn't know that actually Rukmini was for Shishupala, and there was some misguide towards all these different heroes, as the brother of Rukmini wanted to give it only to Shishupala. But till then, when Rukmini came out of the temple, prayed to the Lord, and came out and prayed that let me see the Lord and let me marry only Krishna. When she was saying this, immediately what happened was Krishna came there in his chariot, and before all the heroes were just watching just like that, and Krishna sat in the chariot, pulled Rukmini in, and just went off with the chariot. Everybody was just stunned, like they could not have any reaction towards what happened. They were all just stunned. So, therefore, they were committing a blunder according to Shishupala, and Shishupala shouted at them, just go towards Krishna. Then, in the meanwhile, Balarama came from there. Balarama came, and he immediately attacked Shishupala, and also took his hair and was about to cut his hair and send him off. He was about to cut his head actually. Krishna was about to cut his head and throw it off. Then Balarama said, don't do such things. And then Krishna removed his hair. Then Balarama said, what are you doing, such a stupid insult to this Shishupala? Then he said, no, he deserves it. Then he said, oh, you are so younger than me and you are doing such crazy things, please move away, he said. And then half hair was cut of Shishupala and he was sent away in his chariot, hurled with abuses, and he was sent away forcefully. So, So now the Jambavan story will start. So we know that Satyajit, who was one of the Yadus, had a lot of love towards the sun god, Surya Deva. So he used to pray to Surya Deva for a lot of time, and daily he used to go up early in the morning, he used to go and chant and meditate on the Lord for a lot of time on Surya Deva. So then in the morning Surya Deva came and gave a gem. This is the effect of all your different penances that you have done towards me. Then he took the gem and he fixed it at the top of his bed just to make his bed nice. But every day when he was getting up, he found that golden coins were falling on his head. Then he found that, oh, all these golden coins were falling from his Syamantaka gem. And when he looked up, it kept on falling again and again and again. Those gold coins, pure gold coins were falling from the Syamantaka gem. And therefore he was becoming very, 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 very rich. Became so rich that everybody would look at his opulences and keep eyeing at his opulences. So Syamantaka gem also protected him from wars, from dangerous events and everything. So what Krishna did was, he immediately made some idea what to do to this Syamantaka gem. He said, please give it to Ugrasena. He is the king now, so he must have the Syamantaka gem, not you. Then Satyajit said, no, it's because of my penance, so I am supposed to have it. Then Ugrasena said, please give it to me, I'll keep it safe for you, I shall give you whatever comes out of this, but if it's there with Krishna, it will be more safe. Passing by, he could not even shoot the arrow at the lion. The lion dragged him down and ate him up, and the gem fell from the top, and he took the gem and was going away. The lion was wearing it and then saying, what is this gem, what is this gem? When the gold coin was falling, it was taking it and looking at it. That time, the king of the bears arrived there. He saw the gem was having the lion. So he's the king of the bear and a small lion, that's all. So who will win? Jambavan just gave a hard punch and two hard brushes with his finger to the dangerous lion, and he killed him, took the gem and he gave it to his child. So then Krishna went. And then what happened was, Satyajit thought that Krishna himself killed his brother to get the gem. So everywhere one rumor spread that Krishna has only killed Prasena and has taken the gem away. Then Krishna said, see, I am the lord of all the places and these people are disrespecting me so much. So I will prove to them that I am not killed Prasena and I shall get the gem back for them. So he went into the forest. He reached Jambavan's cave and they fought for 1,000 years, Jambavan and him, because a child was playing, and then the child's nurse raised him up, hey Krishna, some outside human has come and he's trying to take the gem from your child. Suddenly when thunder came and then Jambavan and Krishna fought for 1,000 years totally. Then in the end Krishna won and he took the gem from Krishna. And then they were fighting for the gem, and then Jambavan gave the gem and his daughter Jambavati was unmarried to Krishna. Then Krishna married Jambavati, got back the gem and then gave it to Satyajit. But Satyajit then said, oh Lord, you only deserve to have the gem, not me. So you only take the gem. I'm sure you have not done anything. And then he gave it to Ugrasena. And then he was living happily with Jambavati. Then Jambavan gave him Jambavati and Satyajit gave Krishna Satyabhama. So he got 2 wives again and then he started living with them happily in his palace. Now we shall end with this part. Magapada Risanirapa Magari Sarigapa Dasanida Padapa Magari Sarisanida Sa Riga ga 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 riga pa 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 da pa sa 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 gari sa ni ni da pa pa da pa ma ga ga ri ga pa ma ga ri sa ri ga pa 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 ri 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 ga pa ma ga ri sa ri ga sa ni da sa ma ga ri ga pa da pa da ri sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa ri ga pa da sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa ni da sa pa ma ga ri ga da ma ga ri ga pa ma ga ri ga pa 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 ga ri sa ni da sa ri sa ni da sa 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 ga ri sa ri sa ni da 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 pa ma ga 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 sa ri ga da pa ri sa ri ga sa ga ri sa ni da pa da ni ri sa ri ga pa da sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa ri sa ni da sa Rara Venu Gopala Rajita Sadguna Jaya Shila Sarya Sakshani Ramini Marubada Kurvagir Rara Venu Gopala Rajita Sadguna Jaya Shila Gopalani Nendu Bojala Ni Vindurara Sadamula Madito Madamaliragana Kedaruga Gadiyar Palarara Venu Gopala Rajita Sadguna Jaya Shila Palumaranuga Ravamudani Pilachina Paluka Gunalava Karivarada Mari Marina Kedaramugro Larakani Karamugara Ravinu Gopabala Rajita Sadguna Jaya Nagadhara Murahar Bhavahar Ravira Makuvanui Lalalanui Sogasini Chekora Korikalan Punda Dendamuni Andu Cheradani Janda Maravakura Karamulaji Mari Mari Ninnai Sharanid Raravinu Gopabala Rajita Sadguna Jaya Shiva So, we shall start with the story of Krishna, who goes to the place of Kaushalya, a city called Kaushalya. So, the king of that place was Nagnajit. So, Krishna goes there to marry Nagnajiti or Nagnajit's daughter. So, he went to Kaushalya and he went to that city and he asked Nagnajit for marriage. But then Nagnajit said, for this you have to kill 7 vicious big bulls who are more powerful than any other bull in the world. I have these 7 bulls which will be able to destroy the world. That kind of bulls, you have to finish each one of them. So all the 7 bulls have to be destroyed by you. Let's see if you can do that. Only if you are able to do that, you will be able to marry my daughter Nagnajiti. So it was said because it was so difficult for one person to fight 7 bulls at one shot, each one of them who is more powerful than any other ordinary bull. So the Lord went there and in the arena he transformed himself into 7 people. 7 people he made himself, 7 Krishnas. Each Krishna who had the equal power to each every Krishna, to the main Krishna. And each one of them was Krishna only. It was not a replica or a duplicate or anything. It was Krishna. It was an exact, it is an exact Krishna. So all the 7 bulls were confronted and the Lord lifted them up and threw them here and there, and every single one was then pulled with ropes just as a child playfully pulls wooden toy bulls. So wooden toy bulls would be there in the ancient times. They used to use that to pull the wooden toy bulls like this, and then they used to play children. So this explanation is that just in the same way that children play with wooden toy bulls, the Lord removed these 7 bulls in one shot and then married Nagnajiti. So the shloka is ओके वो छोटी छोटी इधर दे देते हैं ये गाना बड़े बड़े मतलब वो भैया की रमेश भैया की कटे चले इधर इधर चल रहा है ये बोल रहे हैं निकालने के लिए नहीं आपको चाहिए दूसरा लगा तो ये नहीं करते ओके आपको चाहिए तो प्रधान जो शासन नहीं करते तो नया दाई हो लेकिन ये Okay. Natam shekurndrapahod ajitva sapta goprishan tikshna shringan sudharshan viryagandhasahan khalan. The kings came there as suitors were not allowed to marry her or Satya or Nagnajiti unless they could subdue 7 sharp-horned bulls. These bulls were extremely vicious and uncontrollable and they could not tolerate even the smell of the warriors. Yatpada pankajaraja shirasa bibharti Shri Rabjaja Sagirisha Salokapalaihi Leelatan Swakrita Setu Paripsayayah Kale Dadhatsa Bhagavan Namakena Tushyet. Goddess Lakshmi, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and the rulers of various planets placed the dust of his lotus feet on their heads. And to protect the codes of religion which he has created, he assumes pastime incarnations at various times. How may that supreme personality of Godhead be pleased with me is what Satya is saying. So finally this part is in which the Lord lifts these 7 bulls and he throws them. So each one of the pastimes as we see, he killed Dantavakra, Shishupala, these 7 bulls and many other creatures like Vyomasura and Arishtasura, Banasura, many more were there. So and Narakasura also. So after hearing about Narakasura's transgressions, Krishna mounted the carrier Garuda along with Queen Satyabhama. So Satyabhama was also adept in the science of fighting. So nowadays, people are saying women were not given importance in the previous days, women were put down in the previous days, so this culture is not correct. They used to just lament like this and start saying their own philosophy stories. But see the story of Satyabhama, in which she knows the science of fighting with a sword, and even now in Rajasthan, if you may see, women know how to fight their own thing. Like there's a YouTube video too. She cut 7 lemons at the same time while 5 men are attacking her. She'll cut 7 lemons and not allow those men to even touch her sword, not even touch her. So that kind of a nice tactic she was using. So if you see that video, you'll know that women were well educated in the previous days also. There was no discrimination, and nor was there any grudge against women or anything.
See the name of the video.
What is it?
Yuddha Kala.
Yuddha Kala video, no? Okay. So
She uses geometry, and she just cuts the lemon into half within few seconds. Very nice.
Exact
Yuddha
half.
Kala, right?
Exact half.
Okay.
The lemons are placed with that sword. She goes jumping around, and she avoids the men, and then she cuts the.
So the 16,108 princess story is what we see now. So the Lord Shri Krishna went to Narakasura's place, and in Satyabhama they all fought, and Bhumi Devi gave some boons to the Lord, gave some extra weapons to the Lord to kill Narakasura. And after some time Narakasura was dead, and Bhumi Devi also killed Narakasura along with, because she was the mother of Narakasura, but because he was torturing the earth and he was living within the most down parts of the earth inside Naraka, that place, that's why he was called Narakasura. And in the south we celebrate Deepavali for Narakasura death, and in the north we celebrate Rama killing Ravana as Deepavali. So in the same way, this takes a lot of importance because Narakasura was a very dangerous demon. He was more powerful than any other demon, and he was a king of the demons at that time. He was a Yavana and a horrible person who had many different kinds of tactics, illusory tactics by which he can fool people. So there was a demon, this time only Mura. So Murari, the Lord is known as Murari because he kills the demon Mura. So Mura is the guardian of that Narakasura city. So he came out and stood immediately. That time not enter. He started abusing the Lord. The Lord simply took his chakra, killed all his sons, but Mura escaped. Till day, we do Ekadashi because the Lord has given him one chance. If you do not enter the grains in every Ekadashi, then I will kill you. So Mura every time, and before the Ekadashi, just one day before, the howls of the dog will be heard. They'll keep howling. It seems that they are calling Mura and signaling him to enter the grains before the Lord comes and kills him. So Mura always at exact time he enters the grains and he sits inside, so that the Lord Shri Krishna cannot kill him. So that was the only boon given to him, but his all sons were killed. And every Ekadashi, we do Ekadashi to avoid this demon Mura. Anybody who eats anything, any grain at the time when Mura is sitting inside the grain, or when Ekadashi is going on, then that time those particular people become full of diseases, headaches and all of that. So, and then
scientifically it's sort of an indigestion you get if you eat on Ekadashi.
So it looks, so Narakasura, see, according to the Rigveda, all these asuras are nothing but microbes or small creatures. First they manifest themselves as big Rakshasas, and as the scriptures say, they are huge, terrible, ferocious, all of that. But later, now in the Kali Yuga, they are existing still in the form of microbes. So therefore many researches have been conducted with the grains, and this every Ekadashi they become polluted also. So that's why you must not take it. And Lord Shri Krishna married 16,180 princesses of the that king Narakasura, who had been stolen from many kings. He used to go to every king, steal all the princesses, keep them inside jail. And then also the same thing he used to do for many other people also. He had taken Indra's mother's earrings also. Those special earrings he had taken, and the Kalpavriksha tree he had taken. Everything, just come and take, that's all. He'll just come. Indra has to say mum because he'll be killed otherwise. He has to say mum and then see him lifting everything up and running away. So then he'll take all the stuff of Indra's mother. He just pulled out the earring of Aditi's mother. He had such courage to go and just pull it out, the evil courage. So he went and touched Aditi, pulled the earrings and took it away from her. So then Krishna took back the earrings and all that he had stolen, gave it back to Indra. That time Indra became very haughty. He became like, he didn't allow Krishna to take or to touch the Kalpavriksha tree, even though Krishna had brought it back for him. And Satyabhama was being insulted by Indra. Indra's mother Aditi, because she was feeling that she has also fought the war, but still nobody is appreciating me. So somehow I should create a fight between Krishna and Indra. So she was thinking like that. So now we'll see the shloka. So what is doing? गृहेषु तासामनपाय्य तर्ककृन् नियस्तसंयाति शय्येष्वस्थितः रेमेरमाभिर्निजकामसंप्लुतः यथेतरोगार्हकमेधिकांश्च. Lord, performer of the inconceivable, constantly remained in each of his queen's palaces, which were unequaled and unexcelled by any other residence. There, although fully satisfied within himself, he enjoyed with his pleasing wives, and like an ordinary husband, he carried out his household duties. So, he was present with every single wife at the same time. That too, he had 16,108 wives, along with his other wives. Like totally, he has 16,108. The other 8 are the main wives. So, like Rukmini, 5 princesses, 5 more princesses, and also Jambavati and Satyabhama. So these are the 8 ones, and plus 16,100. So totally he had 16,108 princesses. And so one day the Lord cuts down Rukmini's pride, because Rukmini had the pride that among all the 16,108 queens, the Lord likes only her. So she had that pride inside her. So therefore the Lord, to actually just remove that pride, he said, when a man and woman share the same social class, influence, and physical beauty and so on, marriage or friendship can flourish between them. But out of short-sightedness, you have accepted a husband who lacks every good quality and is glorified by beggars. Better you had married some prominent warrior, then you might have been happy in this life and in the next. Your brother Rukmini and kings like Shishupala all hate me, and it was only to cut down their pride that I kidnapped you. Also, I'm indifferent to such things as body, home, wife and children, being the self-satisfied personality of God, transcendental to all material affairs. Rukmini had thought to herself to be especially dear to the Lord, but now her pride was vanquished because her pride was growing, and then she was about to insult other queens also. So, Bali Maharaja had 100 sons, and out of his first eldest son was Badasura. So Bada went and did a very great penance towards Lord Shiva. Suddenly Lord Shiva appeared before him did the Tandava, and he also drummed for it, and they enjoyed. And then Bana had 1,000 arms totally. 1,000 arms, so that she was playing mridanga through 2 arms. In every 2 arms, 1 mridanga. So we may know how many mridangas he may have held, about 500 mridangas. So he's playing the same rhythm at the same time and pleasing the Lord a lot, Lord Shiva. So the Lord Shiva gave him a boon that your city, Shonikapura, will be protected by me ever. Any person who attacks the city will not be left by me. And once Krishna attacked the city, and Bhagavan Sarvabhuteshah Sharanyo Bhaktavatsalah Varena Chandayamasa Satam Vavre Para Puradhipa.
And bangles on a blue color gem. Blue color gem. That's solid down blue gem. Bangle में which one? Blue.
अच्छा वाटत ना था.
अच्छा ना है blue और green हो green ने खाते चेकर blue.
उन्होंने देखी बोले देखा नहीं
सिल्वर में अच्छा वाटत.
अच्छा ना है तभी तो चेम blue और green.
चरी सिल्वर वाटत.
What are you saying?
Blue शुरू तक रह लगे इस पे.
What are you saying?
हाँ शुरू तक. अच्छा.
So 50 centuries ago, that means 5,000 years ago, Lord Krishna, the supreme personality of God, appeared in the earth. He came back to the earth and he appeared there to help all the living entities to liberate from material desires. And to perform his eternal mission of defending his devotees and annihilation of connected godly beings. So there were thousands of ungodly things. Not at all programming the godliness and the principle. So therefore, and to do such a thing, he created the Kurukshetra war or the Mahabharata war. Every single ungodly king was to be killed. And therefore, the pious Pandavas defeated the demoniac Kurus. So the Kauravas, who were the demoniac people, they were trying to defeat the Pandavas, but actually the Pandavas had a lesser military strength, or 7 Akshauhinis of a force, and the Kauravas had 11 Akshauhinis of a force. So Akshauhini we have already seen, it consists of 21,056 chariots and 60,056 horses, 1,56,000 soldiers on going forward, so like that. That is 1 Akshauhini. So Pandavas had only 7 Akshauhinis, Kauravas had 11 Akshauhinis. So the Pandavas defeated the Kauravas even with their 7 Akshauhinis because of the Supreme Lord's mercy, Lord Sri Krishna. So Lord Krishna drives the chariot. His friend and devotee Arjuna defeat and armies. So both the armies are present, 1 and 2. So all the forces are arranged like an ocean, and Arjuna goes for just a glance within all the armies to just see what is happening. So we should see the shlokas. Bhubararaj pratana yadubhirnirasya guktay swabahubhirachintayad aprameyah manye vanir nanugatopyagatam hibharam yadyadavam kulamaho avishahyamasti. So the Supreme Lord of Godhead, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he used the Yadu dynasty or the Yadava dynasty to destroy all the other dynasties, because the other dynasties were full of ungodly kings who were just torturing the earth. But now that the Yadava dynasty has become more powerful than any other dynasty, it has itself become a bhara on the earth, or weight on the earth. So the earth is not able to bear the Yadava dynasty now, which has become the most powerful dynasty in the entire world. The Pandava dynasty is already almost crumbling and finishing off with only the 5 brothers as the main people inside it. Abhimanyu is killed, so many people are killed. So now he was thinking, I should remove this Yadava dynasty also by some or the other plan. So then, after finishing his work, he wanted to remove the Yadava dynasty.
Yadava
so
or
for that,
Kaurava?
No, Yadava dynasty.
Oh.
So first he finished the Kaurava dynasty. Then the Pandava dynasty was crumbling now because only 5 brothers are there. So then now the Yadava dynasty who has got the power of all the different dynasties is now becoming a bhara on the earth because it's too powerful. No? So that's why it's becoming a weight on the earth. So the Yadava dynasty also has to be finished. Therefore he made a plan. So we shall see what was his plan. And the next story. After the victory of the Pandavas at Kurukshetra, it was time for the Lord Krishna to return to his eternal spiritual abode along with his associates, the members of the Yadu dynasty. So for this he had to control the Yadu dynasty and kill the entire Yadu dynasty for them to reach back to him. Because he is the eternal associate of the Yadus or the Yadavas. So therefore he has to bring the Yadus along with him to the eternal world and also disappear from this world. So now we shall see the story of now the sage is headed by Narada. Narada is always involved in such activities to destroy dynasties, to create huge worldwide fights and to act as a messenger for stupid messages to go all around so that fights happen. So he does everything in accordance with the Lord. So what the Lord says, he is the main plan maker for the Lord. So therefore, now the Lord is saying that the Yadava dynasty has to be destroyed for them all to come back to the eternal dynasty of the Lord. So therefore, he has to somehow finish the Yadava dynasty. So he told Narada to do some plan for this. And Samba, who was the daughter of Jambavati, we saw that story of Jambavan who gave back the Syamantaka gem. Jambavati's son, who was Samba, was very arrogant and then who became the cause of the entire Yadu dynasty to get finished. So Samba was actually they dressed they dressed him as a woman with a baby inside, as if she's pregnant. So then they started mocking the rishis and saying, look, what will this Samba or this woman give birth to? The rishis got angry. They said, this so-called transgender person will give birth to a horrible club which will bring the fall of the entire Yadu dynasty. Let's see. And then after this happened, they just lifted the garment from Samba's body and then they found the club. After being cursed by the sages, the boys of the Yadu dynasty, the luster of their faces completely faded. They returned home and they came back and told their grandsire, who is Ugrasena, and they gave that particular club to him. The Ugrasena saw the club and it was a cursed club. So immediately told his servants to just grind it and throw it into the river because he's getting scared that then what if something very dangerous comes upon us. So then he took that club and he got it, grind it and throw it into the river. Then like iron pieces were getting stuck and rusted by that, and a great fish, a huge fish, swallowed all that iron. And then a fisherman named Jara and a hunter used the iron lump found in its belly to fashion an arrow. So first they got that fish who had eaten the powder of this club, and then they cut the fish and then they found that that powder had come there. That powder was then used to make an arrow. And also the other pieces of iron became long, sharp sugarcane sticks. So then when the people or the friends of all the friends of Krishna and all of that, after Krishna disappeared from the earth, or after he got pierced with that arrow, he got himself pierced with that arrow from that Jara. So Jara was a hunter who used that arrow from the iron lump to shoot Krishna on the leg. So the soul of the people had pierced Krishna. Krishna just did some yoga and went after this fight. Just to give a reason to people that he was hit by this arrow and then he went up. And then that arrow sent Krishna and it is according to the plan of Krishna. And the other sugarcane sticks killed all the Yadavas. How? Because the Yadavas came to play around in the water with their friends and everybody. Suddenly they saw the sugarcane sticks and they were just playing around trying to eat it. Pradyumna was killed, Samba and all of these other boys, they were playing. They got tricked with that, and then Pradyumna was trying to stop the fight. They were full of wine, drunk, they were, all these Yadavas. So they were trying to fight with each other with those sugarcane sticks. All the Yadavas died. The army of them died. They fought a huge battle within themselves. And finally Pradyumna was trying to make some agreement here. He was also killed with that sugarcane stick. So in the same way, all the Yadavas died, and already Krishna has left the earth, and all the other Yadavas came along with him and they returned to the spiritual abode. So, now we can check. Shall read the shlokas of this first time of the Lord. Now, after Krishna has left the world, Narada came to Vasudeva's place, who is the father of Krishna, the earthly father of Krishna. So therefore, this particular Narada came there to instruct Vasudeva how to leave this body with yoga and reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore he taught some special yoga to him, so that with that yoga, with that particular yoga, Vasudeva can leave the earth and live with Krishna. So that's what was the plan. And finally, all the different relatives of Krishna were just not found on the earth. They all went to heaven. And next, the 9 Yogendras or liberated souls who travel freely by mystic power throughout the various planets of the universe, working rigorously to spread the knowledge of the absolute truth. They are personal associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Once they arrived at a sacrifice performed by the great soul king Nimi. So, Nimi is a very great king. He is the king of Videha. So he called these 9 sages came from the eternal abode, and they started coming there and starting to teach the Yogendra science. So, one of the topics explained to King Nimi by the 9 Yogendras was the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the center square, Krishna is known in his original two-handed form, holding a flute. Surrounding him is all the other incarnations. So the main source is Krishna. And all the other incarnations are just an expansion of the Lord. So they are Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Rama, Krishna Balarama, Buddha and Kalki. So these are the 12 expansions. And out of this Rama and Rama, Krishna and Balarama, these are the main ones who are the eternal expansions of the Lord. So they are the Lords. They are the main Lords. So all of these are parts of the Lord. The other Dashavataras are Lords indeed. They are parts of the Lord. Like 90%, 99% in that way. So, Matsya, the incarnation who saved the Vedas with the fish incarnation. Kurma, the tortoise incarnation who held the Mandara hill on his back. Varaha, the boar incarnation who saved the earth planet from the water of devastation. Narasimhadeva, the lion man incarnation who killed the tyrant Hiranyakashipu. Vamanadeva, the dwarf incarnation who covered the universe with 2 steps. Parashurama, the warrior incarnation who killed all the demoniac beings on the earth 21 times. Ramachandra, Lord's incarnation as the ideal monarch with his wife Sita, who accompanied him during his exile to the forest. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Balarama, his primary expansion, who appeared together as brothers in Vrindavana. Buddha, the incarnation of the Lord, whose mission was to stop animal slaughter through his teaching of ahimsa or non-violence. Because at the beginning of Kali Yuga, any animal sacrifice is banned. No animal must be sacrificed in the yajna. Because if you are sacrificing an animal, you should have the power to turn that animal into a human with the mantras. But nowadays in Kali Yuga, those mantras are not at all working. These pujaris just come, eat lots of money and they just go away. They eat a lot of money, they come with full of greed, they'll see your house. If it's worth a lot of money, they'll grant. They'll ask you when did you buy the land. They'll guess the amount of money you bought the land for. They do all of these things and they'll see your rings and all of the jewels that you have worn. They'll check your money. All of that they will ask questions and they'll, like detectives, they'll know. Then they'll quote a price according to that. Then they'll say some mantras, half of them will only say Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnu Mandranami. And then they'll take a lot of money, maybe if it's a big ceremony, they'll take 2 lakhs and they'll go away. Just for chanting Shukla Bharadharam Vishnu and wearing the full, having full arrogance and pride, puffed up with ego and coming inside. They call themselves Brahmanas. So this is what they do. Therefore, at the beginning of the Kali Yuga, nobody must be given the authority to kill an animal, chop it and then try to chant some sacrifice, some mantra and then make it a human. It's impossible to do in Kali Yuga. Only in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, this was possible. And then, Kalki, the incarnation of the Lord, will appear in 4,27,000 years to herald the change of universal time. So, Kalki will come in the end, slaughter all of these different demons who have clinched the earth hard. We see many demons nowadays. The politicians, the big money makers, and the huge people like Bill Gates. And many people, we see, they keep collecting money. From where they get the money? By torturing innocent people. So in the same way, we have to stop this kind of a menace. We can't stop it with our own hands. That's why Kalki will come 4,27,000 years from now and he will annihilate this entire clan of these evil people. Because by the Kalki Yuga, by the end of the Kali Yuga, all the kings, all the people who are ruling the world will be turned into plunderers. Dasya Shatru is what is given in the Bhagavatam, first canto, first part, and chapter 4. So in that particular chapter, it's given all about this Dasya Shatru. All the kings will become nobody but enemies and thieves of the civilization. And then now we come to the incarnation of the Lord called Narayana Rishi. This particular incarnation was very beautiful, as Nara was Arjuna, an expansion of the Lord, and Narayana was nobody but the Supreme Lord. So both of these were the incarnations of the Supreme Lord. And they were doing a lot of penance at the beginning of the era, in particular Satya Yuga time. Doing a lot of penance, continuous penance. And then Indra thought they are about to take away my kingdom, because after doing a lot of penance, normally demons, what they do is they seize the kingdom of Indra after getting a boon from a mighty god, from the Trimurti. So they do some of the other things and they get a huge boon and then they escape by killing all these people and all that. But Narayana Rishi was not like that. They were rishis who were doing penances, doing severe penances. But Indra was thinking they are doing penances to kill me. Therefore Indra sent Cupid or Kamadeva, and he shot some arrows at Narayana Rishi. Those arrows made beautiful spring all around, and each of the arrows were in the form of a very, very beautiful woman. So those arrows used to go and try to prick. But Narayana Rishi was constantly engaged in meditation, and he did not even waver from his transcendental glory, and he was continuously doing penance. He did not waver in any time. So then Cupid took Urvashi. Urvashi is one very most beautiful. Urvashi is the most beautiful woman in the world created by the Lord by his mystic potency. So Cupid brought Urvashi and tried to attract him by making Urvashi glance at him slowly and all of those things, so that Narayana Rishi gets swayed, so that he gets swayed from his penance and he just stops his penance. Then Indra just withdrew his Cupid because nothing was happening. Cupid just took back all the different apsaras that he had brought, and he went back. So we have finished this. We see the shlokas of this particular part. Narayana Rishi, who is perfectly peaceful and is the best of the sages, was born as the son of Dharma and his wife Murti, the daughter of Daksha. Narayana Rishi taught the devotional service of the Lord, by which material work ceases, and he himself perfectly practiced this knowledge. He is living even today, his lotus feet served by the greatest of the saintly persons. So Narayana Rishi is one of the most immortal people, and he lives still today, as Ashwatthama is living in one of the hills of Maharashtra, they say. And even Hanuman is living in the hills somewhere around there, is what they are saying. The same way Narayana Rishi is also living in some spot around the world. So, here. What can you understand by this picture? Anybody? No. What's the correct meaning of this particular picture? Chelsea?
Man is killing the cow. No, this man is cutting all the legs of the Paramatma.
No.
See properly.
So it says that first a butcher of an animal. So you kill an animal in the beginning. Then you have to pay back to the animal. You're killing an animal now. Now you're taking a loan of 50,000 rupees from a person. Don't you have to repay it back to the other person? Even though you have it, you cannot say that I won't repay. You have to somehow repay that 50,000 rupees to the other person. So in the same way, if you kill a living entity or an animal, you have to sacrifice yourself in the next birth and get killed by that animal who will come as a human and kill you. It is so nicely explained in this one picture, which states that this human is killing a cow. In the next birth, the same cow becomes the human, as you have given this to relate, and the human becomes the cow to be killed. So that is how it happens. And in the next birth, this cow who killed the human in the form of a human, who became a human, will again have to be killed by another person. The same way it will keep going on and on.
So where is the end for this? Same question.
So where is the end for all of this? That is to concentrate on the Divine Lord. That's what is explained in the 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which says devotional service. We do karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. We try to do all this, but it's actually very difficult to practice all of it. First, if you start with bhakti yoga, everything comes in place. Like if you put the corner puzzle, you can arrange all the other puzzles simply, and then you can attain your goal of fixing all the puzzles. The same way, the end to this is practicing devotional service while practicing karma yoga, dhyana yoga, and bhakti yoga. So, Krishnavarnam Trisha Krishnam Sangopangасtra Pashadam Yajnai Sankirtana Prayaihi Yajantihi Sumedhasaha. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons and his confidential companions. That's Lord Chaitanya. So Chaitanya is also the Supreme Lord himself, who came in the yellowish form of the Lord. He is a plenary expansion of the Lord, who taught the people how to behave. So whatever is given in the Bhagavatam is always true. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who performed many miracles seen by thousands of people, which prove everything, they were stunned. So he is the Supreme Lord himself, is what is given in the Bhagavatam. Some people claim themselves nowadays. We have North India and even in South India. They say Nirmal Baba. Then they, this Radhima, Nirmal Baba, they say I am God. See, I am only God. They can perform some Maya, usually energy, whatever they'll say. Actually, they'll hire somebody to give them some, some black magic they'll do. They'll worship Satan. They'll be demoniac people. And then they'll say, I am God. So that's what it is. Finally, the people become so evil that they tell they are themselves God. And therefore, you must not believe any person like this unless that person's name is given in the Bhagavatam. Is Radhima's name given here? Nirmal Baba's name given here in the Bhagavatam? Has it told that this Nirmal Baba will come in Kali Yuga, he will be the Supreme Lord, he will cheat people and interval people. See, that's what it is. So nobody can claim themselves to be God. However, they are using their illusory energy or powers. If Indra is himself not claiming to be God, then imagine that any normal living entity, how can they claim to be God? The followers of Lord Chaitanya also worship him in his six-armed form or Shadbhuja. Two arms carry the water pot and danda of Lord Chaitanya, who was a sannyasi, member of the renounced order of spiritual life. Two arms carry the flute of Lord Krishna, the original personality of Godhead. Another two arms carry the bow and the arrows of Sri Ramachandra, the Lord's incarnation as a perfect monarch. So, this is the incarnation of the Lord. Most people consider it on his form, and it's superb because the Lord is showing himself in his three main incarnations. One is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in which he showed the world how to be devotional. Second thing is Krishna's incarnation, another person who created the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, which enlightened everybody. And the third, and one more very important one, that is Rama, who is in the form of greenish arms. The painting is blue, but his real color is greenish kind. And these are the three main ones, each one having two hands. Arrow, bow, flute with both the hands, and a stick and a pot. So this is all the six-handed form of the Supreme Personality of God. So, the only way to enlighten people in the modern world is Sankirtana Yajna. It is a form of a yajna meant for the Kali Yuga. So that there is no animal sacrifice in this, nor is there any ghee oblation or anything which won't even help in Kali Yuga. It is the chanting of the Lord's name. However you like to chant the Lord's name, praise him like that. That is Sankirtana Yajna. So that's the way to get back to Godhead.
This becomes more of socializing.
It's more socializing. So the entire
Spirituality is lax there.
no, it's not, because the entire society is joining together to be with the Lord. So it's not that I am caring for you or you are caring for me. Everybody is separate, but they are in one group chanting the Lord's name, so that they each understand their thing, and it will be a social way of praying to the Lord. So if you do yourself individually, it's kind of a boring thing. So being social in Kali Yuga is the main best way to do prayers to the Lord.
To chant God.
Yeah, God. So
So then individual chanting is not effective.
So individual chanting is also effective, but social chanting is like, it is large scale, no? So everybody can hear each other's prayers. So everybody can they can hear each other's prayers, and also they can, in a group they can participate and
inculcate the children also.
Like children won't sit and see the parents like this. He's saying some God's name. What is the use of this? Children will think like that. And other foolish people also who are interested in money and all that. So they only come for some celebrating in which they can enjoy also. So the only way to enjoy socially, that to spiritually, is the Sankirtana Yajna. Say the Kirtanas of the Lord, and that's the only way to involve the children, the foolish people, and also people who cannot understand the Lord. So they can, like, oh, some enjoyment, everybody is jumping and dancing with the God's name. Why can't I also? So they also join. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, they'll be screaming any name of the Lord, they'll say. Adhokshaja, Garuda Vahana, any name they'll keep saying. So it's a social inculcation. And therefore Sankirtana Yajna is the greatest form of spiritual worship in Kali. The previous yugas, people, even children, even people who were not that great too, who could not even follow the spiritual things, they used to understand the Supreme Lord, they used to know the Vedas fully perfectly, so they could do individual worship. But now in Kali Yuga, nobody is effective like this. They are all just like blinded by illusions and all of that.
So we are families now, we have our own small...
So there are 5 birds in the bush. One bird you are holding. That one bird is devotional service of the Lord. The other 5 birds are seeming to be beautiful, more beautiful than the bird that you are holding in your hand. So you say, oh, this bird is not looking nice, it's not giving me any enjoyment, temporary enjoyment. So you just throw it aside, the bird flies away, then you get all the other 5 ones. Then when you hold those 5 ones, you see there are more. You collect all of them and you keep them. Slowly you keep having 500 birds, 600 birds. Then you have to give them food daily and you have to attend to their things. If one dies, then you start lamenting. The wealth went away. Oh, I lost my wealth. Oh, I lost this business, lost this. Actually, those birds are just, and suddenly all the birds died in a pool. Now doesn't know what to happen. Then they start thinking of devotional service. At that time they try to think of that bird, but now it's too late. That bird won't come back. So that bird will be away. Then they try for a long time. Finally, that bird comes out. That's the way people are trapped in modern life. So that's why we must always read the scriptures. The solution is we must read the scriptures to know that this is more better bird than the other birds that you're looking. So 5 birds on the other side. So that's why we must read the scriptures. That's why the Bhagavatam has been made. That's why Bhagavad Gita has been made. That's why Vedas, Shastras, scriptures, Puranas, everything has been made. And Upanishads, Puranas, everything has been made for this one purpose, so that human understands that the spirituality bird that he's holding in his hand is more beautiful than the other birds that he's looking at. It's just an example of how the humans are captured. And next thing is that so the Lord said to Uddhava, one who is the kind well-wisher of all living beings, who is peaceful and fixed in knowledge and realization, sees me within all things. Such a person never again falls down into the cycle of birth and death. That is the way everyone must live. And next we shall see the story of a thoughtful sage, even while living within a material body, should understand himself to be the pure spirit soul. So we'll see the shlokas of the explanation of a sage. A sage. Sage means a good person. Whether he's a brahmana or engaged in spiritual things, or a kshatriya engaged in fighting administrative things, or a vaishya engaged in business, or a shudra engaged in service and collecting money from people and enjoying his own life properly. So all these 4 different things are differentiation of work, but not differentiation of birth or having a thing that I dominate over you. It's not it's different work, that's all. Each caste loves its own way of work and must adhere to its own way of work. That is happening in Satyuga. Now in Kali Yuga they come up, right? Hey, no, so I want to be a scientist. I want to do it. Nowadays we are having so many people like Siddharamaiah, who became our chief minister. They say he's from the Kuruba family. So they say that okay, I am a Shudra, still I want to be the administrative person. See what he does. You can see from the examples of every single person how they behave when they are lifted up from a low position to a higher position. How they behave. So you can only see the same thing. So a sage means in any different activity he is doing, whether he is serving others and collecting money, or he is collecting money from business, or he is engaged in protecting people, or he is engaged in protecting the people who protect people, Brahmanas. So in the same way, any caste, they can become sage, a good person, by even while living in a material body, should understand himself to be the pure spirit soul. Similarly, one should see that the spirit soul enters within all forms of life, both moving and non-moving, and that the individual souls are thus all-pervading. The sage should further observe that the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a super soul is simultaneously present within all things. Both the individual soul and the super soul can be understood by comparing them to the nature of the sky. Although the sky extends everywhere and everything rests within the sky does not mix with anything, nor can it be divided by anything. That's how it is. We are done with this one. 11th Canto, Part 3. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said to his friend and disciple Uddhava, just as fire may appear as dormant to manifest weak, brilliant and so on, according to the condition of the fuel, the spirit soul enters a material body and accepts a particular bodily characteristics. Like, every single person has a chance of becoming any species he likes, according to the work he does. So if you behave like a crocodile, going and trying to bite everybody and trouble everybody, you become a crocodile in your next birth. And you have to suffer onslaughts from other animals, you live in the ocean, you have to do gruesome things, and you don't have any intelligence. If you are cheating everybody every time and then trying to cheat them and always trouble good people, then you become a snake. Then snake. In the snake's birth, you get trampled by people, you are all with anger and greed. Then in the snake's birth, you hiss at people and you are considered inauspicious. Then, if you trouble people or if you are yourself dumb in your birth and you do not realize the Lord in any way, you become a donkey. So the same way, every single species. The end, a soul becomes a cow. Then it transmigrates into a human. Because cow is the highest developed thing. Before cow, monkey. So monkey will understand some certain things. Cow will spiritually understand things. That is the naughty cow, not the foreign ones. The foreign ones, as we see around here, huge body ones who are just filled with hormones. They are having no, and they have no intelligence. People who drink their milk also have no intelligence. That's what happens. So, therefore, every single living being, there are totally 84 lakh species of life, mainly. So, these species of life are being characterized with human beings keep going under each one of the species of life according to what he has done in his previous birth. So, it's like that. And so the sufferings of people must not be seen by a sage. Like, the suffering is only for the body. A person dies, we all cry for that person. Even though his soul has just gone into another body and staying in another body, we all cry for him. Why? Because we feel he's dead. That means he's dead means he's not existing anymore after he dies. No, he becomes another entity. So why should we scream and shout for all of that. A self-realized sage should never see this lamentation in another form. So back to the shlokas. Vidya vidye mama tanu vidyuddhava sharirina moksha bandhakari adye mayaya me vinirmite. O Uddhava, both knowledge and ignorance, being products of Maya, are expansions of my potency. Both knowledge and ignorance are the beginningless and perpetually award liberation and bondage to embodied living entities. So, if you take the path of knowledge, then you reach liberation. If you take the path of ignorance, then you get bonded again. It's your choice. So that human is having no control, then God keeps giving him punishment, severe things for none of his mistakes. It's the human's choice. We behave bad to people for our own selfishness. We have to take the punishment. We can't just escape without it. So the Lord is punishing for this one purpose, so that we realize that we had made a mistake. If we still don't realize, then we are hit with another thing, another punishment. If we still don't realize, finally if we realize, then we are brought back to another stage where we can realize more realization. Finally, when you reach 100% of realization, you're transported to Vaikuntha, or the place without any problems. So, there's one more story just relating to birds about how the soul and the super soul live together. So, every single person has Paramatma inside him and himself Atma inside him. So, a Paramatma is nobody but a bird. So, it's explained in this very nice lucid way. It is that a bird who is superior and a bird who is inferior. The difference between them is that the bird who is superior is just watching. The bird who is inferior is eating a fruit. Just keep eating. The bird who is inferior is the soul. The bird who is superior is the super soul, who does not eat any fruit because he himself has created the fruits. Therefore, the bird who is inferior is the particular person who tries to keep having some fruit. He's eating a fruit. The bird who is superior is not eating any fruit. Just watching this bird and noting whatever he's doing. To eat the fruit, is he killing some insects? It means like in a human way, to acquire money, is he troubling somebody? So you keep noting down, the super soul. Keep noting down. Then when the time comes and this bird shows its reality to the Lord, at time he reads out all the punishments for him and what he has done and why it has happened. So Lord is so merciful that he allows you to also understand why you have done it. After a person dies, they go to Yamaraja's abode. There Yamaraja, ordered by the Lord, to explain to each person fully what he has done, what trouble he has caused to others, and what will happen to him because of what he has done. So these three stages will be perfectly explained by Yamaraja, ordered by the Lord to explain. So the Lord is very merciful. He allows this explanation to come in front of that soul. Otherwise, why to explain? Just give the punishment and send him again. Let him be bondage again. Let him be inside the bondage of the material existence. So that's why the Lord always is very merciful to the person who is living under his control. Okay, the shlokas is this. Matkamaaramanam jaram ashwarupavido balaha brahmam mam paramam prapuhu sangachata sahasrashaha. All those hundreds of thousands of gopis, understanding me to be their most charming lover and ardently desiring me in that way, were
Start.
Okay, so then what happened was the Supreme Personality of Godhead has said to his disciple Uddhava, don't just get trapped with the Vedic regulations, because they only are karma, desire, all of this only comes in that, like you do this, you do it. Still, you must perform those sacrifices, that too only in Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Treta Yuga, these three pious yugas. You must only perform sacrifices in this and act according to the Vedas, but must not totally fall inside the trap of the Vedas, which was created for a person to be illusioned. Though you should listen to the Vedas and the Shastras. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, sitting on a level seat that is not too high or too low, keeping the body straight and erect yet comfortable, placing the two hands on one's lap and focusing the eyes on the tip of one's nose, one should purify the pathways of breathing. Beginning from the Mooladhara Chakra, one should move the life air continuously upward like the fibers of the lotus stalk until one reaches the heart, where the sacred syllable Om is situated like the sound of a bell. One should thus continue raising the sacred syllable upward, keeping the eyes half closed and fixed on the tip of one's nose. Being enlivened and alert, one should meditate on the lotus flower situated within the heart. One should meditate on the sun, moon and fire, placing them one after the other within the whole of that lotus flower. Placing my transcendental form within the fire, one should meditate upon it as the auspicious goal of all meditation. That's what the Lord was saying, to instruct his devotee Uddhava how to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead to Vaikuntha. So this is the way to meditate on the Lord. Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna said, Lord Brahma desired to attain the answer to the question that was puzzling him. Yes, Lord Brahma had many questions that were puzzling him a lot, so he wanted the answer, and therefore he meditated towards me, and I came in the form of a swan, is what the Lord is saying. Then when Hamsa, or in the form of Hamsa, the Lord came and the Lord removed the material nature from Brahma, because Brahma had a question. So that question has to be removed first. When the question is removed, the answer automatically comes. So the question was removed by the Lord, and the ignorance was removed, and the answer came to him. The form of the super soul within the heart is perfectly proportioned, gentle and cheerful. It possesses the four beautiful long arms, a charming beautiful neck, a handsome forehead and a pure smile, and glowing sharp-shaped earrings suspended in the form of two identical ears. There is Makara Kundala, or a shark-shaped earring, and the chest of that is the abode of Srivatsa and the goddess of fortune. Srivatsa is a mark on the Lord and the chest, and the goddess of fortune, and that form is also decorated within a conch shell, disc, club, lotus flower and garland of forest flowers. The two brilliant lotus feet are decorated with ankle bells and bracelets, and that form exhibits the Kaustubha gem along with an effulgent crown. The upper hips are beautified by a golden belt, and all the limbs of the beautiful form capture the heart, and the face is beautified by merciful glancing. So that is the explanation of how a person will be able to concentrate on the Lord. If you just say, I should concentrate on the impersonal form of the Lord, like there is no body for the Lord, try to concentrate on it, you won't achieve anything, can't see the Lord at all. Concentrate on some force of light which will help you to concentrate. So all of this is actually, it's the philosophy which is Advaita, and it's not befitting the Kali Yuga, because only some people, only some very great saintly people can concentrate on that impersonal form. The personal form in which we can see the Kaustubhamani, all of that, we just can imagine how the Lord looks. That will help every single person to concentrate on the Lord. If we say Advaita and then sit to just meditate, we won't be able to concentrate on this, because it is Kali Yuga.
But when you said Atma and Paramatma, Jivatma, then that is Advaita.
Yeah, that is Advaita only, but this part of Advaita in which it says that you concentrate on the form of the Lord in which there is no body at all. This part of the Advaita, not the entire Advaita is wrong. This part of the Advaita, nor is it wrong too. It is perfect. It is the best of all the philosophies. But for this one Yuga, Kali Yuga, you have to follow this one part of Advaita. That is the part in which you concentrate on the Lord's form. The form, not impersonal, personal form. If you concentrate on the impersonal form in Kali Yuga, it's impossible to control your senses.
Even because of the bodily conditions we are living in.
Yes.
Not able to remember things.
Bad food, because of the polluted air, and because of the polluted mind, the polluted body. It is that Shivaloka is difficult to concentrate on. And Vaikuntha is without any misery. Shivaloka has certain forms of misery. Little forms of misery will be there in the film. Seeing the place when Shiva burns Kamadeva and then his Kamadeva's wife is crying for Kama and all of that. So they have to experience certain things like that, and therefore Vishnu's form is easier to concentrate on. So what is happening? So now we move on to the fourth part of it. The colleges, the universities, they just catch people hard and they throw them into an ocean. Though every school or every educational institution has the responsibility of giving the child a good position in the society later on, they are not doing that nowadays. They are just giving hi-fi courses, huge courses, and then after they learn everything, they stand out searching for a job. Well, nobody gets a job after that. It's just like that. So that they struggle, and there is no more population in the world. That's what they are trying, these big satans kind of people.
So on which basis we teach our child?
Huh?
If we never
Homeschooling.
try to
That's why, again, second reason for women to be at home. Teach your child. Be the teacher for your own child. Why teach other children, waste your time, when the husbands of that woman can teach or take his own profession? Why do you have to go out and work? Also, if you want to teach, you can start tuitions at home. Or you can also teach in other places, part-time, anything like that. But first provide your family food. And allow the men to work outside. Third thing, give everybody in the family sufficient food and educate your children too. That's the third reason for women to be at home. And
What if a woman has studied a lot and then people are asking her, what are you doing now sitting at home?
Yeah.
Why don't you get a job? You have so much potential and all that. And then we feel sad, like, oh my God, what did I do? I studied so much and I'm wasting my time cleaning potties of my kids and and cooking and serving everyone, and it's so irritating. Then how about?
Isn't it also horrible to be full of stress and hormonal problems inside shifts in the night, working continuously for these big multinationals who don't care about women, men, children, nothing, just money. They'll spend on HR or human resource just a little of their part money. I studied management. In that they have said HR should be only totally 10% of your entire income. HR, salaries, everything. Joint should be only 10% of your entire income from the company. So that's why these companies are extracting people, and it's even more horrible to stay in a factory and do that. And in fact, it's not horrible to stay and attend your children, to attend your family, to cook for your family, and also to make special things for them. All that, it's not horrible. It is the duty of a woman. If you are not liking this duty, that means you are not a woman. That's the problem. Because the hormonal change is happening in the modern day. They eat junk food, their hormones change to men's hormones, and they start disliking everything.
Hormones change नहीं होने के लिए क्या करना है कि balance में hormones.
That's why no one is having any junk food.
हाँ आणि असं जे रसोई जे काय has usual असं तर
गरम ही खाना. Then गरम में केरो problem है.
80-90% गरम ही खाना. 10% we go out. 10% not a daily. फिर भी अजुकल माण्हू जो जेको भी आया मां ब्यूटिशियन, whenever I go to there my hormones is in balance, so I blah 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 whatever ऐसे बोलते रहते हैं. तो क्या करना चाहिए, उनके लिए क्या सजेशन देना चाहिए?
I didn't understand.
Saying that hormonal imbalance is there, even though she eats food at home 80%, 90% of the time. Only 10% when she's tired or not able to.
Okay.
She goes
Are
out.
you consuming refined oil?
teen ka dabba.
Yes, that's the problem. It causes severe depression and hormonal imbalance.
Okay.
So which should we eat?
Okay, use the ghana oil. Actually, we were wanting to bring ghana oil from the shop and use it for today's
असा
cooking.
नंढे हूंदे में वही खाईंदा हुआसीं. एक्चुअली असांजी मम्मी ग्राउंडनट्स
कलेकाई जो तेल.
वो ठाराई ईंदा हुआ भाई.
और कलेकाई भी तो जम कफ वगैरह
उधर का नहीं होता है.
न
महाराष्ट्र
पित्त कंदी आहे कलेकाई तरी वधीक कलेकाई न तिल खाई सघे.
It may destroy the body.
Okay, okay.
कलेकाई में
You can take til no
तिल का तेल.
and coconut
But
oil.
no frying with til, only frying with coconut oil.
okay. And mustard, which is best?
Huh?
Mustard oil.
Mustard oil is also very good, but it will give, what do you say, the bitterness to your food. So if you want the best oil for cooking, without
Sacho
any
ghee?
excuse, that's it.
सच्चो घी.
Huh?
सच्चो घी.
Pure ghee.
Nandini jo.
नंदिनी जो.
Oh, sacho ghee na. Oh, hydrogenated fat.
दपो केरो सच्चो घी.
Oh, तवा
मक्खन वठी अची जे ॿाहिरों वो गरम.
क्या पानी मलाई बोल कढो?
yeah, that's very good.
No, no, she's selling मक्खन ॿाहिरों वठी अचजे.
ॿाहिरों वठी अची करे कारे करे दॿो भरे रखी छॾिजे.
ना मक्खन ॿाहिरों वो भी हाइड्रोजनेटेड फैटी आहे. आणि ये पतंजलि जो मक्खन तो अचे ना,
हाँ
वो अमूल में खणी करे,
हाँ
वो जो मक्खन खणी करे,
वो
वो थोरो छाए पांच जो फ्लेवर ऐड करे
ओके.
मेल्ट करे बरी बेरे या करे थोरो केमिकल्स अन्ना विझी करे वो पांच जो मक्खन
त पोइ करजे कीअं. हाणे त कलियुग आहे. सभु हंध इहे
त सच्चो मक्खन काथों अचे?
काथों अचे?
Take curd. It's very simple, but you will only get 1 spoon of butter. So around 2 liters
Yeah.
of
Curd.
2 liters of milk. मां कंदी आहे न
2
घर.
liters of milk. 1 spoon of butter you get. So if you want 1 bowl of butter, then you'll have to sit and do it for a long time, at least for 2 hours daily, and then get the butter out, put it in a bowl, and feed it to your children. Making butter for children at home is the best thing for the children, and children increase their love towards the mother when they are eating the butter from the hands of the mother, is what research condemns. So our mother makes, always she makes at home only butter.
You may get home.
Yeah.
But 1 spoon. थोड़ा लो बस है.
थोड़ा लो बस.
And that must be the thing. If you buy 1 packet of hydrogenated fat and feed it to your children, they'll get diabetes. No, the
Childhood diabetes.
childhood diabetes become
Obesity.
very big. From 10 to 11 and 12 years, people are getting so much diabetes. Children getting lots of diabetes. In US especially, children are full of diabetes in 10, 11 and 12 age.
Vaccines. Cover the vaccines.
Vaccines also. Vaccines are one of the most horrible things made for depopulation in the entire world. Many people support vaccines. They come and say vaccine is good, vaccine is good. Tetanus vaccines have been found out to cause sterility by independent researchers and by some funded researchers also. One more thing is that polio vaccine has been found to cause a mass non-polio affected flaccid paralysis disease, which is another type of polio or a reverse polio, which can be more dangerous than even polio. After injecting your child with the MMR vaccine, just 2 days later, your child will become dumb totally. You feel it's just asar, we say, no, like what do you say?
Side effect.
The side
सुइया जो असर
But
क्यों
sorry to disturb you, one question. Because you want to know. We are giving vaccines for these children, vaccination for between 1 month to 2 months.
Huh.
So that's our good, that are good for children.
She's vaccinating her every month.
Every 1-2 months.
Yeah, yeah.
The way doctor prescribes.
हाँ.
जो period
yeah.
So what to do if we never give that vaccination? What to do? Which is other way?
cook with good turmeric, mustard, and all the antioxidants.
Okay.
There is no chance for you to get polio or any virus even touching your body.
Not only
Why,
polio, there
Abhigya?
are many diseases.
Sorry, again.
Abhigya
you
is
say,
not vaccinated.
Okay, the proof is my sister. She's not at all vaccinated at all. See, she has not even got a single big disease like MMR,
That's what.
tetanus.
Just I'm saying, if which are the other ways? Living, there are not only polio, there are many other diseases which vaccinations are available in a market.
Okay.
Doctors are saying go
For
for this
every single
vaccination.
disease till date, there is an Ayurvedic medicine.
Ayurvedic.
There's for
Instead of
but
vaccination,
don't
we
go to
should
the
go.
Ayurvedic doctor. Nowadays they are also becoming bogus.
Yeah.
90% of them are bogus only.
So which is
They'll
the
go,
best?
they'll say Swarna Prasha, they'll dip a metal
Then which is the best?
So you make it home, everything, you don't, see Ayurveda means kitchen medicine basically. Kali Yuga,
Like Tulsi and all
kitchen.
herbals.
Knowledge.
You use your
knowledge.
kitchen as your hospital. It's the greatest hospital in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, hospitals are Ayurvedic or allopathic.
How is turmeric for turmeric fried in the milk, which is cow milk?
Yes. Which one? Jersey cow.
I don't know, I cow juice.
If it's Nandini also, it's most horrible. If you are getting a crossbreed cow, it's
Lime
okay.
and ginger.
It's not helping you also, nor is it troubling you that much.
Okay.
It will help you partially, trouble you also partially. So if you're getting a crossbreed cow, it has a hump but does not have a dewlap. It has different colors. It has a hump and a dewlap. And it has a short horn, but it has a hump and a dewlap. So
So you didn't give your daughter vaccination?
No vaccination at all.
You did by your own way.
Everything garaming. Like
I am vaccinated. That's why every now and then I get fever or cold and all that. More than my sister I only get because I am totally vaccinated and my
No,
body
no,
is
not totally.
trying-
Halfway. I stopped at 3.
Yeah. So my body is trying to fight against those foreign bodies continuously. Every 5-6 months I get a small cold or something like that. So every 5-6 months because I don't eat junk food. That's why 5-6 months one time I get something like that. So that's why my body is trying to fight against that germ and is trying to remove that germ, that vaccine germ from my body.
HPV for teenagers.
So HPV is human papilloma virus. It is one of the most horrible vaccines because Gardasil HPV especially. That vaccine can cause sterility and also it can kill any woman or paralyze a woman within just a few days or months. And we'll call it some other side effect, but we blame it on the environment sometimes, we blame it on mosquitoes sometimes, but ultimately it comes to the vaccines. Over 1 million deaths has been caused by vaccines. More than, actually, one more research and one more study was made that water wars has been done in the world from the starting of the middle age. How many people have died in that? The vaccines in just short time, from 2013 to maybe 2000 to 2017 now. In just 17 years, they have killed more people than the wars happened in the world.
Sprouts,
Yeah, but you have to get it from a farmer who makes it.
Yeah, but then what you get output is based on the input. Okay, and if you're going in the field, and if it is there's fertilizers, with chemical fertilizers, so what do? All those are coming out in your.
That's why you educate the farmers also. You have to go meet a farmer, tell him.
Yeah,
Not
but
a
then he's
Yeah, for now.
He's
Looking at a quick buck.
He's looking at quick buck.
Now we have neem.
There's
Neem ones
the
also.
shortage of water. The shortage of water.
So Ragi.
Then the demands are going up.
First,
So he
Pepsi
needs-
should just fall like that. Everybody should stop using Pepsi. Then water that Pepsi is using, no, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, what happened now? Like a fight battle for water.
But this is only local. You're talking about only Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. This is worldwide.
Worldwide, it's because of these big multinationals. They're taking up all the water resource for their Pepsi and Coca-Cola manufacturing. They take all the Kaveri water, they make it into Coca-Cola, and here farmers are dying for that water.
Nestle also makes water, no?
Nestle CEO has said that public water should not be, water should not be a public right. He said that in front of everybody. You can check it out on YouTube. He said water should not be a public right. He said that. That means they are controlling water. Isn't it simple? By that one dialogue of his, it means that these big multinational water companies are taking all the water from the villagers. Then the rest of the, if those companies are shut down, no. How to shut down? Government won't help us because they have ties with them. So we have to stop using their products. Then it will just collapse again. Coca-Cola and Pepsi will collapse. Then you can go get all the water will be then diverted to the farmers if the government is set right. The government will be set right only when they don't have funds to run their evil plans. So when they don't have funds means they don't have any funds or taxes from these big companies. So the companies are shut down, taxes will shut down, government will become little less effective towards destroying the public. So then all the water will be diverted towards the farmers. Farmers will use the water. Water will bring many herbs, spices, everything. It will become like the ancient civilization. And If not that also, in remote villages nowadays, we also see those farmers who do not add fertilizers because they don't know about fertilizers. And pesticides too. They don't even know what is pesticide. They can't talk a single word in English. Nor do they know a single English syllable. So you can go to them, see, just tell them in the local language, just give me this much of whatever produce you get, I will pay you more than the market pays you. Just that you should not add fertilizers and all of that. So they want a quick buck, no, just they want money. So tell him that I'll give you extra money, do not add, and they are not cheating, they don't cheat mostly. All these farmers are very innocent. Only when they are harassed, no, then only they start cheating, just like serpents. When you harass the serpent only it comes. Serpent won't simply come and just bite you, only certain serpents do that. In the same way, these farmers won't do anything to you, you'll just explain to them that you will pay them more money. You grow it without fertilizer or pesticide. Whatever you do it with neem patta or neem leaves, and you use that as fertilizer and pesticide also. Then they all will agree to it because they want money, no. So you pay them extra money. It's good for health also, so it's not a trouble for you nor for the farmer. He'll be living happily, we'll also be living happily with the entire health. You just pay 30 rupees extra, he'll be so happy, he'll feel he's already in heaven. Just pay little money extra, he will already be dreaming of being in heaven, because that poor is what they are now in the state, because companies have just sucked them out, their life is suddenly removed because of the companies. That's why give them some extra business, you give them personal business. Don't allow these, the government has certain centers, you come, you farmers, give it to us. They'll sell, the farmers will be forced to sell their goods which are actually so expensive, it's such a low cost, and if they don't agree they'll have to be sent away. So that's how these people do. So you go directly to them, give them a good profit and also acquire your profit of health and enjoy, no? That's the way to live. Any other questions?
I think we'll finish and wind up.
Jai Shri Krishna. Yes.
Do one after or something.
दिल्ली के माला पे यूज है
ये इसको डाल उसको उनके पाता सब
नला है अभी गया 2 मिनट अभी छा अर्जेंट
ये वो भी पहन लो
माला पाइंदो ही ना कड़ी छड़ी तो
2 मिनट और फ्रूट का भी हां both of your test better हां
Abhigya, may God bless this house.